WWE Wrestlepalooza 2025 match card and predictions time on the channel. As you can see there, the mixed tag team match. AJ Lee returns to the ring as she teams with CM Punk, her husband, against, well, another married couple in WWE, Becky Lynch and Seth freaking Rollins. Elsewhere on the card, we've got Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. We've got the reunion of the Usos going against Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed of the Vision. The vacated Women's World Championship will be decided as Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer go one-on-one, and John Cena goes one-on-one with Brock Lesnar. That's your card for WrestlePalooza, which is going to take place in Indiana on September the 20th, going head-to-head. Well, almost head-to-head. It's at least the same day as AEW All Out after their show got moved into the afternoon in the States. Of course, early evening for those in the UK. For us, it's late evening in the UK. And, of course, it's an evening show for WWE fans. But what's your excitement levels starting off then for WrestlePalooza?
Maybe a 4, maybe a 5. There's not a lot of substance in terms of story. The one match I'm kind of looking forward to is the mixed tag match, and the fact that a mixed tag match is the highlight of the show. I think I'm not trying to get my hopes up for it, mate.
I mean, you've kind of combined which match you're most looking forward to into that as well. So I'll say the same. Yeah, it's the same match I'm looking forward to. Should AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Rollins and Lynch main event this show?
It should. Will it? No. Cena Lesnar's going to main event.
Interesting. Yeah, probably. It feels likely Cena and Lesnar would be the main event of the show, but this is going to be my main event, that mixed tag team match. Obviously, the excitement to see AJ Lee back in a WWE ring. Of course, it is a husband and wife combination, a dream mixed tag team match, if you will. But yeah, you're probably right. Probably Cena and Lesnar could potentially main event this show. But my excitement levels, I'm not going to lie, on paper, it's a bit higher. I would agree the stories have not necessarily been the best going into this show, but I would say that I think on the night it's going to be pretty solid. So I'm going with a 7.5. And to be honest, from a WWE standpoint, if you're going to try and counteract AEW rather than throwing NXT under the bus, this is probably the best way to do so. Obviously, you got a championship match with Cody and Drew, which feels big time when they're probably sharing the ring together. Obviously, Cody just returned this past Friday on SmackDown. Obviously, Io and Stephanie is going to be a fantastic match. The Usos reunited is a big deal in itself. Cena versus Lesnar is one for the casuals, if it's not for me and you. And like we said, yeah, Punk and AJ Lee, that is for us against Rollins and Lynch, which I think certainly feels to be the big story going into this show. But we're not going to waste any time diving straight into it then and getting one of our predictions today. But if you're watching on delay or watching live, feel free to get involved as well. Let us know your predictions for the show. But we're going to start off then with the WWE Championship match. We've got Cody Rhodes going against Drew McIntyre. Of course, Drew McIntyre did a Claymore through Cody Rhodes, of course, was on the floor, and he kind of went through the bottom of the announcer's table. That wrote off Cody Rhodes off WWE for a number of weeks. Of course, this past Friday on SmackDown, Cody made the return when Drew was going to do the same thing to Randy Orton. And of course, Cody couldn't help himself but say that, hey, we're going to have this match at WrestlePalooza. It's obviously a beautiful way to get that out there. But your thoughts with this one? Obviously, not a lot of interaction. It's a big time film match, in my personal opinion. Does this feel one and done, or do you reckon this has got legs to carry on?
I mean, it probably needs legs. I don't think it should really be done in one. I mean, yeah, we all know Cody was away filming the Street Fighter film, which is weird to say, but do you know what? Now thinking about what you said earlier, the card, it does look like on paper that it should be really entertaining. I think it's just for the fact that there's been a lack of build to it, but yeah, look, I worry about what Drew will be doing at WrestleMania next year. I think if you can at least drag this out for maybe a month, 2-3 months, at least you've got a better idea of where Drew stands going forward. So, one and done, I hope not.
I hope not either. Do you know, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not going to be a popular call early doors, but I would not be surprised to see some form of screwy finish in this match, just to have an excuse for it to carry on, whether it's like a schoolboy roll-up or a DQ, something like that. That just sort of tells us that we need to do this match a second time, because perhaps maybe Drew can walk away the one standing tall, despite the fact he's not walking away with the championship. Yeah, early spoiler from me. Cody Rhodes have to retain the championship.
Yeah, as much fun as it would be to say Drew was going to win this year, I don't think so. Yeah, no, for me, Cody retains 100%.
It feels like the right move at the moment. He kind of won this title at SummerSlam. Obviously, Drew McIntyre feels like the right natural opponent, obviously, after winning at SummerSlam. Obviously, the tag team match with Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Drew seems to be in quite a bit of momentum anyway, beating Randy Orton this past week on SmackDown. But yeah, it does feel like for me, it's not the right time to change the championship at this particular time. This feels like perhaps a bigger match, really, and perhaps should have been on a bigger day. But obviously, WWE are trying to treat WrestlePalooza like a big deal. If you believe the reports, Triple H said that ESPN wanted this show, wanted it on this date. Funny how that all works out, isn't it? And how WrestlePalooza could be like a big time show moving forward. Of course, it was formerly an ECW show back in the 90s, which, of course, when you look at it, had famous moments like Al Snow against Shane Douglas in 1998, the one where Al Snow's head was so popular, all the crowd had mannequin heads as well, booming backwards and forwards like a rock concert. And in 97, who remembers Jerry Lawler in ECW, of course, when he was with RVD and Sabu and they were taking out Tommy Dreamer? That was true heat back in the day.
Best wishes to Jerry Lawler as well. Just to put that out there as well, because obviously he's gone through a bit of a health scare at the minute. It's on in the Twitter or something. His daughter shared that he's been taken to hospital for something or other. So yeah, wishing that guy all the best as well.
Yeah, wish him all the best entirely. Yeah, it's very sad to see. I did see the same poster going around the last few days. So yeah, we do wish him the very best. But Noobs in the house, thanks for joining us, Noob. Hope you're well. It's got Cody Rhodes winning on this one. It feels like the right move at this particular time. But yeah, going to go for a Cody Rhodes win. It's both of us going there. And we'll see if this story does progress further. I personally would like it to, although with Crown Jewel next, is it going to be the Crown Jewel Championships where they have champion versus champion, or they have meaningful stories going into Australia? Time will tell. But we'll move on in the meantime anyway. I'm going to move on to our second match on the show. We have got the Usos going against Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed of the Vision. The Usos reunited for the first time since March, but of course before that, on a premium live event, you've got to go back quite a way, a good couple of years. In fact, these two have even been opponents at WrestleMania, but probably less said about that, the better. But yeah, Jay and Jimmy back together once again. Of course, been a lot of stuff going on with the Vision. Of course, they took out Roman Reigns, of course, at Clash in Paris. They looked to try and do the same to Jey Uso on the following night on Raw, and that's when Jimmy made the save, and that's how we got the reunited Usos moving forward. Feels like Jimmy Uso perhaps secretly has been transferred to Raw throughout this feud as well, because of the fact he's not really been on SmackDown since that move to Raw and saving Jay. But there was a moment on Raw previously this past week where Jey Uso kind of said that things have not been working for him the way he wanted them to while he's been yeeting around, and someone suggested maybe there'd been a heel turn with the fact that he had attacked LA Knight at the end of the show, which was against I suppose Jimmy's wishes. But at the same time, you imagine these two will be faces going against the Vision. I can't see Jey Uso being a heel against the Vision. So I'm wondering how that storyline layout is going to play out on the go home show of Monday Night Raw before we get to WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, it's just it's normal because normally we do this after Raw, so we kind of more of a clearer decision. I think it's a case of that the Usos probably should win this. But then again, the Vision never get pay-per-view wins. They get loads of TV wins, but never a pay-per-view win. And I think there'll probably be something tomorrow that will give a reason as to why the Vision should win this match. So I'm going to say that Bron and Bronson win it. It's. I don't want the Usos to be back together just yet, and I'm hoping if they can heel turn Jay or Jimmy, either one of them, just make it a bit more interesting going forward. Like, I think Jay's kind of tapped out in a minute with his whole run as heel, and I think they need something for him just to almost keep him relevant, because his entrance is just his one thing at the minute, and I think a heel run might be a bit more interesting just in general for him to do. So, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Vision to win this one.
Yeah, I got a similar feeling for this one. I think, once you sit there with the Usos, if you're going to do this, try and make it for the characters where it's more compelling. And I think we've got to a stage with Jey Uso where they strapped the rocket to him. He won the Royal Rumble. He won the title at WrestleMania. I think it didn't quite connect the way that a lot of people hoped it would, maybe wanted to. Maybe some people just didn't buy into it from the start. And I think as the summers progressed further, I feel like Jay needs a change in some way. And like yeeting might be the way to start it, because obviously it's got to the point with encore yeets. And it's got to the point, I think, where I think some people are quite fed up of watching him yeet as well. So it just will be a nice transition for him moving forward. But as I said there a moment ago, yes, he super kicked LA Knight on this past week of Raw, but I don't know if he's fully turned heel yet. I think it could be on the way, though, and I think that this is something which is perfect, because you would think the Usos reuniting, coming back together, would win their first big tag team match on a PLE. It feels like a big deal in itself. But like you said there, the Brons have not been picking up PLE wins, and it gets to a point where I think they are going to start to need to get some of these wins. So I think it could work perfectly into a Jey Uso turning heel character. Jimmy Uso maybe has not been having the same success as Jay, therefore it can add some question marks of are they on the same level? Is Jimmy basically the Genetti of the team? So we can have that sort of dynamic moving forward as well. So for that reason, I'm going to go for the Bronze to pick up the victory as well. I think the Vision should pick up the win here.
The fact you said the mighty Genetti of the team was just shocking.
Could be an excuse to do Jimmy versus Jay again, but yeah, I think we don't need that.
Yeah, well, you never know. Live and learn.
You live and learn, indeed. But this could be an interesting way as well, because C Nation Dogs in the House, thank you, CD, said, could LA Knight, of course, the Usos, could he cost them the match? That could be a way that could happen.
I need logic behind it. I mean, don't get me wrong, SWW, anything's possible. I don't know. I think a clean loss for the Usos probably works better for Jay's character if they are going to do the heel turn.
Potentially, absolutely. But obviously, with what happened this past week with Jey Uso hitting that super kick on LA Knight, then it could be a case that LA Knight could then try and get their revenge. And then that could also create problems with LA Knight and Jimmy Uso also. By then, LA Knight saying that I was getting revenge on Jey Uso. So yeah, it's interesting. I think there could be a unique way going forward with that. But time will tell on it, but one thing's for sure, I would prefer a clean win for the Vision. I think it gives them more credibility, but of course, it does protect the Usos in defeat as well. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see if that is the way that goes down. CD goes on also to say that the Vision will win because they need something without Seth Rollins being involved. Completely agree with that. But Noob, on the other hand, reckons the Usos are winning because the Vision is not clicking on everyone, because I don't know what WWE is doing with the Vision. Well, they seem to be a little bit separate at the moment, away from Seth and Becky, since we've had this mixed tag team stuff going on. Have you noticed that Seth has not really been around the Bronze quite as much?
Yeah, the only thing I can think is that maybe there's another member to the Vision turns up. We get someone, I don't know who, or even like a Paul Heyman returns. I don't know what part he would play in costing the Usos the match, though. So, but yeah, in terms of Seth being kept away from these two, they have a tendency to do this. Like, we've seen this for years. They do this with factions. Like, it's a group of 4 or 5, but one of them is just kept apart. And I don't know. You'd think they'd have all of them together. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Bron and Bronson make an appearance at some point during that mixed tag match. But yeah, they almost feel like two different things at this time. Like, it just feels like Seth and Becky and the other two.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what will happen after WrestlePalooza, because I kind of feel like Becky could be an interesting, unique way of holding the whole group together while Paul Heyman's not here. I've not really seen her with them yet. So, yeah, it would be fun to know how that would work out as a dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Becky's been absolute fire since they've put her with Seth, and the heel run is just phenomenal. And I wouldn't be against the idea of her being almost a Paul Heyman replacement for the time being, and being, like you said, the foundation that holds them together. Not that I think they need it anyway, but like, having Becky Lynch in that faction is just going to be a plus regardless.
Absolutely. She's doing killer work at the moment. We'll be talking about, obviously, her and Seth versus Punk and AJ later in the stream. But we have gone for a Vision of victory. Last comment from CD before we move on to our next match said it's weird because what they did for SummerSlam 2 when Seth Rollins faked his injury, it was just Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, but Paul Heyman was there too. And now they are by themselves. Absolutely, indeed. Well pointed out from CD. We'll move on in the meantime then to our next match on the show. We're going to talk about the vacated Women's Championship. Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer is going to decide who will be the new Women's World Champion. Long and short of this one, Naomi was the Women's World Champion before, Jimmy Uso decided to not proceed with caution. So she's now pregnant and she is away from WWE for the time being. Obviously, Stephanie Vaquer was going to have a championship match, and that was due for Clash in Paris, but that match was pulled due to Naomi obviously being pregnant. WWE had not decided what to do at that particular time. Adam Pearce had got the replacement opponent in place for the following night on Raw, and that's when we learned that Io Sky would be the one challenging Stephanie Vaquer for this championship. Now, arguably, in the last couple of weeks, we're not really seeing so much build between these two. The story's more to do with Io Sky and Asuka backstage, really, which is obviously linked to the likes of Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, Nikki Bella's fallen into the mix as well. Women's War Games, anyone? It feels like we're building that way. But at the same time, I think we'll get something with these two on Monday Night Raw this upcoming weekend. That probably give us a clear indication of where this one's going to go. Now, very rarely do I see anything to do with betting odds when it comes to wrestling, but this one did pop onto the Insta timeline. So currently, Stephanie Vaquer, believe it or not, is the favorite going into this match. But flip a coin on this one. I think the winner is going to be the fans either way, because personally, I think this one potentially could steal the show. But we've discussed this previously on other streams, so I don't think it's going to be many surprise to our regular viewers. NXT, do you want to be the one to reveal how we think this one's going to go?
I mean, look, the heart says Stephanie, but the head says Io 100%. I think Io wins it. Stephanie's just look. I think if Stephanie wins this, she's almost in contention for like breakout female star of the year. Like the year she's had winning the NXT championship, the Women's North American Championship, then coming onto main roster and winning the World Heavyweight title would be a killer for her. I can't see it. I think it's too soon, unfortunately. I just think with how WWE commonly book champions, really, it's just one of them things. But look, I'd pop hard for the Stephanie Vaquer win, but I think Io Sky is the safest bet. Again, the story that Rhea hasn't beaten Io is something that's played out for the long term, whether that's going to Mania next year or whatever. I think as well, if you put the title on Io and you've got the whole Asuka dynamic, there's something for them that gives them a reason to have a match. Stephanie Vaquer, there's not exactly many people that are. I don't know. It almost feels like the Women's World Heavyweight Championship just hasn't got like a structure to it. Like there isn't that many like contenders for it at the minute because it's kind of in non-existent. So again, can change within a week, 2 weeks, depending on how they book the show. But I think if you throw that world title between Asuka and Io, it just makes it a little bit more interesting in the future.
Yeah, I'm going to agree 100% with all of this. Like with Stephanie Vaquer, it's not a clear path for where she goes next. Of course, WWE can make that path after WrestlePalooza if she wins the title. But as it's been said by a couple of people in our comments here, it's way too early for Stephanie to win the Women's World title, which, fair point. I mean, she's only been on the main roster now since, a couple of months after WrestleMania, so I understand people's point of view. However, we'll be talking about Brock Lesnar in a few minutes' time, and obviously he won a world title within 5 months of being called up to the main roster. Of course, back then it wasn't NXT, it was OVW, but I rest my case anyway. Io Sky just feels like she's got more going on at this particular time. We mentioned the Asuka storyline there, and obviously that feels like a natural jealousy dynamic from Asuka as well. A reason to fully turn heel, a reason to have that match as well. Rhea Ripley obviously wants to have another rematch of Io Sky as well, so there's just stuff there for Io Sky, and she's had arguably, it's been Io's year at the moment when it comes to that Women's World title, and it feels like that it's been one of those years that you said that was an Io year if she wins this match. So yeah, for me, I think Io is the right way to go. I think it makes the most logical sense. I think if Naomi versus Stephanie Vaquer had happened at Clash in Paris, as much as it would have pained me to say, I think Naomi would have retained, because I would have not wanted to see Vaquer lose that match. But I think with this one, I feel like it wouldn't harm Stephanie as much, because these two, I've had a bit of a story throughout the year, really. I've had 2 matches previously and never had a clean victor. It would be interesting if Asuka was actually the reason that this one wasn't clean either, but Io won, just because, Io lost even because of the fact that there's another excuse to do this match again later down the line. But for me, I think we get the conclusive victor here, and I'm going to say Io Sky is this one. Vaquer was very game and is on that level, but it just won't be this particular moment that she'll hold the title.
Yeah, just to add on to it slightly as well, like just thinking about the silly things like the fact that Vaquer hasn't been on TV at all in the last few weeks, and we're going to get her once on TV in the go home show. Is I think that itself is almost the writing on the wall that says that who's going to win this championship. Like, why would you not feature someone on TV if you're going to put the world title on them? So yeah, thinking about it now, that's probably the reason alone that you should pick Io Sky.
Indeed. We'll have to see. And obviously, what will happen on tomorrow night on Raw will be interesting as well with the go home show. Probably give a clearer indication how it's going to go. We usually like the whoever goes well on the go home show probably means they're not winning on the PLE. So that probably give you a better idea. But Neem says maybe a contract signing for tomorrow. Could be something along that line that we could see go down. It does sound a good shout indeed. CD says Io Sky wins this title. Io already has a lot of storylines ready for her, just as we were suggesting as well. We've got CM Punk's biggest fan in the house. Thanks for joining us. Hope you are doing well. Says I think Stephanie Vaquer will win and will lose the title to Naomi. So obviously will be a long-term holder of that women's world title as well. We've got Aries in the house. Thanks for joining us again to AEW All Out on Saturday with his dad. Excited to go to the first major wrestling live show. Hope you have an incredible time. Amazing to see that you'll be going to that show. And there should be some predictions for All Out coming on this channel in the week. So keep an eye out for that as well. Excuse me, I need to cough for a second. I've been trying to hold it in, but it's not working. There we are. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. But hey, we've got Noob's opinion here. Who's going to win this match? We've got Io Sky winning the women's world title. Then Asuka and Kairi congratulate Io. Then Asuka will turn on Io. La Evolution turn on Randy Orton. Nice reference there from back in the day. That would be a fun way to do it as well. See, this says I can definitely see Asuka getting involved in a match, but by Io Sky having no idea about it exactly would be a good way to go about it, because that way Io will think she's got the job done, but actually she's got help. Io will be upset backstage that she got the help to win the title, and it's just a more fuel just to make that Asuka heel turn cemented as well. So I think that is absolutely on the money and how that finish is going to go down.
Yeah, agreed, definitely.
Absolutely. CD has heard, now we'll take this with a very pinch of salt because we don't know this factually, but potentially to work on English. Interested and see if that would be a factor to win the title. She's been doing English promos though all the way through. She did them in NXT. She's done them as well on she did it for Worlds Collide, even though it was mixed with Spanish as well. So she's got a full interview as well. Chris Van Vliet coming up this upcoming week as well.
Do you know what? I actually look forward to that. It actually sounds like it'll be quite an interesting interview, just in general, because of, like I said, the killer year she's had, the rise to stardom, and the fact that if you actually go back and look at her indie run before she even joined the company, she was a massive heel, and she's kind of been face the entire time. Like, she's just naturally over. So I'm intrigued to actually hear about that and see what Chris Van Vliet asks her.
Absolutely, she's over like Rover right now. Definitely one of the hot properties in WWE, but unfortunately, we haven't got her winning the title. But maybe at some point further down the line. Keep your predictions coming in as well in the comments as well. You can talk about other things pro wrestling as well if you'd like to. Make sure to hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe as well. All that good stuff as we move on to our next match. We've got two of them left. I'm going to start then with John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Obviously, this match, not really much reason for it. I was assuming we'd have a reason by now that this match was happening. But so basically, John Cena had his match at SummerSlam, lost the 17th world title, had turned babyface, I think, the SmackDown before, which still feels a bit unforgivable at the time. But hey, at least WWE knew when a thing wasn't working and they needed to get it right. But what could be argued, so some people is not a right move, is bringing Brock Lesnar back. He came back kind of similar to his 2012 run when he straight went for John Cena and gave him an F5. Not the first SummerSlam that Brock Lesnar's returned either. Brock then actually attacked John Cena on the Chicago edition of SmackDown, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, and said that he would see John Cena at WrestlePalooza, not giving any explanation of why this match was happening. We hoped we'd get some explanation this past Friday on SmackDown, but instead, Ron Cena, or R-Truth, the younger brother of John Cena, if you believe that, got in Brock Lesnar's face in an F5 for his trouble, and Brock actually split his pants as well. And to be fair, at least Brock sold it, I guess, in a funny way. But is this one gonna be good, or is it gonna be a bit like a wet fart? I'm not quite sure.
How many times have we seen this match? And John Cena's final year, and how many new rising stars has he put over this year? Let me count. None. Yeah, this is, excuse my French, dog crap. Why are we watching this, man? Why are we getting this in 2025? This is such an old. It's like being a dead horse with a stick. It's just it's why we got it. Like, Cena's gonna win. Like, if this was someone new, I'd be more open to the idea of Cena losing. But if Cena's good by a run, it's Brock Lesnar. He's gonna win. I just like. I think this is just poor casual booking, just so AEW doesn't get some viewers. I just think it's boring and lazy. I don't particularly care for it. It might be entertaining. Hey, you never know. Brock might actually bust out the tractor again and completely destroy the ring in the main event, and that'll tell you what, that I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that'd be a lot more fun. But I don't care for this match. I think John Cena wins, mate.
So the thing is that on a regular day, I would have been fine with this match, but unfortunately, despite the fact TKO must know everything, and obviously Brock's name was mentioned in amongst the sex trafficking allegations that have gone against Vince McMahon, and that's where it's hard to disconnect from. Whether we, like I said, we don't know the full ins and outs of everything. I'm not going to pretend to know everything, and I'm not going to share information like I know everything. But obviously, TKO must know something for Brock to be able to be in front of screens on cameras, and must be the A-OK to do so. But at the same time, while this case is still going on, I don't think I can feel comfortable fully seeing on my TV screen. That's just how I personally feel. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way about that. As a match itself, this is one of John Cena's greatest rivals. They showed the first of this video packages that they did on SmackDown this past week, the retrospective, whatever it's called. And they're going to do part 2 next week, which obviously they've gone for the Ruthless Aggression era. They'll start going for the PG era next week. And obviously they have had some matches, some history. Suplex City started with these two. Obviously the Extreme Rules match in 2012 was a banger back in the day when Brock first returned in 2012. So, I mean, they've got some good history, but I'm with you. I do feel like I don't need this match in 2025. Obviously, this is just to get some eyeballs on this show, not an AEW show, and hoping that people will put their money where the mouse is for ESPN and not for the providers that are going to put it out, maybe Prime or wherever it is for AEW's PLE, of course, which is the all-out show on the same day. But I'm with you. I feel John Cena is going to win this match. I don't see a reason of why Lesnar should. I think for me as well, there's no storytelling here. I would like to have seen a reason. You said a long time ago, just quickly, that you felt that the right way to have gone about this was for Lesnar to say, I want to be the guy that puts Cena away early so that he doesn't even make the rest of the year. And in the process, put his own career on the line. Lose it and he has to go away for a while, because we don't believe he's going to be sticking around long term here. We think this is a one and done, at least to the Rumble, at least till Mania, and he can go away for a little while afterwards. So I think they should have put some more stakes on this, or at least give a reason of saying, I want to be the guy that puts Cena away for good. He's not even going to make the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is the perfect way to describe the booking. This is WrestleMania 43 booking. This is just putting big names on the card. That's exactly what it is. It's WrestleMania 43. Look, like, they want all the bells and whistles and all these old people that can't. Well, they probably can, but they can't go as well as they used to in their prime. This is WrestleMania 43 booking, and yeah, I'm just not a fan of it.
Obviously, referring there to WrestleMania announcement, they will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Obviously, another controversial decision from WWE that's not been met very well with fanfare, understandably, perhaps political reasons, perhaps maybe.
Did you see the SmackDown reaction?
I have not seen the SmackDown reaction, no.
So they played the clip of the announcement, and they came back to a resounding core of boos from the crowd.
Lovely. Well,
so I got a feeling we're going to be getting a lot of pumped in audio in the next 2 years until that pay-per-view.
At the end of the day, for that audience, for that crowd, great for them. Because had that been announced, it's going to be somewhere like London, for example, we would be celebrating. I'm sure that people would not be. It probably should have been us, but there would be people in the world that would have turned around and said, okay, we're not happy it's there for whatever reason, whether it's wanting it just solely in the States or for whatever, and for that fan base, they'll have the best time. I assume we'll still see green t-shirt guy in the front row, or at least somewhere around there. He seems to be traveling internationally these days, so I don't think it's going to probably stop the real diehards of going to every show to go to this. But like you say, as a WrestleMania itself, there are a couple of pros, and I'll stick to the positives. Yes. Number one, our time zone works quite well for that. Number two, it's the first WrestleMania it's going international. It means that if you are in a country that's not in the States or in Canada, the dream still lives. So a WrestleMania in London, it still lives.
Saving now.
Yeah, start saving now. It could happen one day, but look, money talks, and that's clearly the thing for WWE. If you've got the money, you can get the show.
Worst case scenario, even if it never comes to your country, at least you got a ton of money to spend at a later date.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But we think that John Cena is going to be winning this match. So without further ado, let's dive into those comments once again. CM Punk's biggest fan says, I think Cena will win because R-Truth interference. R-Truth could be helping out his childhood hero.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it's so lazy.
I mean, if Cena's handling of booking has not been good this year, R-Truth has been just as bad, unfortunately. I feel really, really bad for him, really, the way he's gone through.
Ron Simmons now, anyway.
Ron Killings.
Oh, there you go, Ron Killings. Ron Simmons is...
Damn.
Farouk, yes, damn, yeah. Well, you know what I mean? At least I thought he'd changed his name and he's automatically gone back to R-Truth. And I'm like, well, that was short-lived.
He's gone back to, when John Cena going babyface, he's gone back to being Goofy Truth. It's just, it's what the crowd wanted, but at the same time,
his heel run didn't work out either.
No, it seems clearly not. Cena wins because Brock Lesnar squashed him last time, and it's John Cena's retirement year. Kind of agree with CD that there would be a good reason for Cena to get there. I think Brock Lesnar came back because John Cena requested to face him. CD thinks this could be a Cena choice.
That is unfortunately, CD, it's a false rumor. John Cena came out and said that I fight anyone WWE tells me to fight. I never specifically asked for anyone. That's a rumor that WWE tried pushing out.
Absolutely. CD's big, CM Punk's biggest fan, sorry. Could be CD's biggest fan as well. You never know. Subscribe to C Nation Dog on YouTube. It says that there could be one more match with a legend for John Cena after this one. Of course, he will be competing at the Crown Jewel Australia show.
Why though? Look, it's John Cena. He should be facing the guys. Look, we had Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold a couple of years ago. Why are we just getting these matches that we don't want?
Well, if it's AJ Styles,
it would have been fine 3 or 4 years ago, man. But even AJ's getting to the retirement age now. There's got to be a new guy to put over. Again, I've said it for the 7 millionth time. Obafemi is there, man. He's prime and ready to come in and destroy John Cena and be that top heel and, do you know what I mean, have a great run. And yeah, they're not going to do it, but I can hope.
We could hope for that one. I'd love to see that match. Look, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Dominic Mysterio, just to name a few. There's some people that you want to see have matches with Cena that could really do with that rub before the end of the year.
Dom doesn't need no rub. That guy is AAA champion. He's my hero, man. Dom is my wrestler of the year for the second time. Dude, the guy is just unbelievable. The fact that they gave him the AAA Mega Championship is phenomenal, and I absolutely love that for him.
Absolutely. I still get to see the match, but I'm really keen to see it. I'm hoping that we'll get a chance to on the next day or so. As well, also, CM Punk's biggest fan one day. I want WrestleMania to come to England. Hey, that's 3 of us there. We can start a petition. Definitely. You never know. It's not going to have the funds for it, but we can get the petition rolling.
Can't get it done.
He tried. Ron Killings is still R-Truth. WWE always called him R-Truth, even when he was Ron Killings. R-Truth referenced he never officially changed his name. Yeah, it's very weird booking, though. I'm a fan of CM Punk, but I'm Seth Rollins' biggest fan. Fair play, CD. There could be some controversy there as we get towards our main event of the stream. And the only reason I don't think Obafemi beats Cena's retirement match is because I think he's still NXT champion, and he ain't losing that. Would be nice, though, for him to bring that up for an appearance, wouldn't it? just like Kevin Owens did back in
Yeah, it's
2015 with
exactly.
Cena.
Kevin Owens did the exact same thing. Why can't they repeat that? Like every story in wrestling is basically copy and paste from something previously. So why not do it? Have Obafemi come out with that NXT Championship. It'd just be wonderful, man.
It would be beautiful indeed. Just as beautiful as what our main event of the stream is going to be today. Yes, we saved what we thought was the best till last. The mixed tag team match, husband and wife versus husband and wife. CM Punk and a returning AJ Lee going against Becky Lynch and Seth freaking Rollins. The numbers game has been playing its advantage over CM Punk in recent times when it comes to Seth Rollins and the Vision. And of course, on the Clash in Paris show, well, Rollins didn't get the help of Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker because they were suspended from ringside. So, with Paul Heyman being taken away to a local medical facility in Paris, Rollins had nowhere else to turn. But he had his wife that come and actually made the save and made the difference of why Punk was defeated and why Rollins picked up the victory and retained his championship in Paris. The following night on Raw, Becky Lynch literally arguably bullied CM Punk to a point on the microphone, getting physical, slapping him around, saying that, his name had been chanted, which would be ruining her matches as well as her husband, and how, the stuff that she's put her husband through comes home to her as well. Punk had said, look, to be fair, you're a phenomenal talent, Becky. You're one of the best ever to do it, but you just got a bad taste in men. Pretty much saying that her husband's a coward. But the fact is, Becky Lynch wouldn't drop it. CM Punk would walk away. And then on the next show, he more or less had said, look, I could get Rhea Ripley. I could get whoever. And let's be honest, Becky Lynch was fine with it. She was like, bring on whoever you want to bring on. But instead, the one that CM Punk did bring out, of course, was his wife, AJ Lee, a return in Chicago, which got one of the biggest pops of the year. And Becky Lynch, to be fair, sold it like a trooper. Took a beating from AJ Lee on the show as well, to the point that AJ Lee would then come to Monday Night Raw wearing Becky's Intercontinental Championship. Having her first promo in front of a WWE crowd for over a decade, AJ Lee could have said about many different things, but she chose to talk about mental health. She'd got a therapy chart going as well, which was quite cool to see. Let's be honest, you do matter. For those that do need it, you do matter, and it's worth getting help. Obviously, moving back onto the storyline at hand, Becky Lynch wanted her title back. Of course, naturally she would. AJ Lee said you'd get it as long as, well, you give us the tag team match at WrestlePalooza, or just the tag team match in general. Eventually, after a few bells and whistles, the mixed tag team match was set. Rollins and Punk were both at ringside as well. And here we are. We've got the match set for WrestlePalooza. Clearly the best storyline narrative going in right now in WWE here with this, not having to just rely on John Cena's farewell tour to send out a show here. This one should be a rightful main event in my personal opinion. Probably won't be, but really eager to see this one. And obviously it'd be AJ Lee's first official match back in the company in well over a decade. Thoughts, excitement, share everything you got for me.
Yeah, the only real match just had any build to anything really on this card, and like you just basically summarized it all up. I think this is a great way just to dip AJ Lee's toes back into the water and get her in a ring and get that ring rust off in front of a crowd, put her in a mixed tag match with her husband, where I'm pretty sure I've seen videos of them lately where they practice together. So, those two will be able to have some chemistry together. Regardless, you put them in the ring with Becky and Seth, two people who can carry people. Like, regardless of who it is, they can more often than not carry people. I think it's just a great way to, reintroduce AJ Lee, and I can't see this going any other way but an AJ and a CM Punk win. I think ultimately it leads to the singles match between Becky and AJ for that IC title. I think it also then gives Punk the precipice to then go after Seth for the world title. Again, probably won't happen until WrestleMania, but everyone in the world apparently is against me and thinks it's going to be the next pay-per-view, the next pay-per-view, the next pay-per-view. But I'm telling you, night 2, WrestleMania, that's when it's happening. But yeah, I can't see AJ. The biggest factor is I can't see AJ losing in her first match back.
No, I can't see AJ losing her first match back. And there is actually reasons to delay Punk and Rollins a bit further, unless they do a singles match which has a screwy finish, say, for example, Saturday night's main event or Raw or whatever. But I actually think the place right now could be Survivor Series if they're not involved in War Games, which I think they probably will be. So I'm going to go Saturday night's main event. You'll do a Punk versus Rollins match once again, which could have a screwy finish, which could lead then to a delay to the Rumble. But yeah, maybe Mania could be your way. But for me, I think Rumble is where it ends with this one. But I agree with you. I think AJ's not only going to get a win in the first match, I think she's pinning Becky Lynch here, and I think it sets up an IC title match for Crown Jewel Australia. Or perhaps maybe they want to delay it as long as Survivor Series, but it does seem quite a way away at this particular time. But that's a stadium show in San Diego as well, so that could be fun to see. So yeah, I think I think you've nailed everything on the head. Really, there's no point me beating more drums to just delay the stream. So yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, there's not a lot to really sort of pick apart with this one. The sole factor is it's AJ Lee's first match back, and as much as like the Jelly Roll exists as a person who was like normally them celebrity matches they win. Jelly Roll was willing enough to lose the match just in terms of I don't know. I suppose there's a whole thing behind it, but yeah, so AJ Lee, who was essentially like at her time originally in her first run was the biggest female superstar and completely destroyed that roster. I have no reason to believe that she's not winning this match.
No. Should CM Punk and AJ Lee have the advantage going into the PLE after Raw tomorrow night? Will your opinion change?
No, still not. But if AJ Lee and CM Punk stood tall tomorrow night, I'd still think that they'd win. I think it would be. I think it'd be stupid with how they're booking their shows if to have someone like that of that caliber return and have them lose. The reason is it's a mixed tag matches. You can do screwy stuff where you have Becky or AJ attack Punk or Seth. Do you know what I mean? So there's always that dynamic where they're quite happy for the women to beat up the men and do you know what I mean? Alter the course of a match. So I can't see no reason why they can't do something like that, which will then protect the finish of this match. But I still think AJ Lee wins.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point here. I actually think that Rollins and Becky Lynch will find a way to get something of a one-upsmanship tomorrow night on Raw, just to then solidify a Punk and AJ Lee win here. But I'm with you. It just seems to be a bonkers decision to have AJ Lee lose the first match back. I just think the fanfare is very hot for her return, and I think that a lot of people want to see this match. And for me, I think that this match, like I said, I think it should main event. I think it'll be the sub-main event though of this pay-per-view.
Yeah, if you want to kill AJ Lee's momentum, by all means, have her lose this match.
There you are. There you are indeed. Well, you've got our predictions, so let's dive into the comments and see what you're all saying. We'll start off then with side note quickly. I think Dominic Mysterio is the first new star Triple H created. I think it's a fair comment to make there because Triple H has been hands-on with Dom ever since he took over the pencil, started Clash at the Castle 2022. CD then goes on to say Rollins and Lynch will win this because they've been loyal to WWE. Sting lost his debut match in WWE. CM Punk lost his return match in WWE. Interesting. Just felt it'd be the wrong move with AJ.
Yeah, I think that there was too much excitement and hype and build with AJ coming back that I think it kills her momentum if she loses. Like, how am I supposed to believe? Even then, how do you then book her into an IC title picture with Becky for a one-on-one matchup like Crown Jewel or something?
Yeah, it's hard to make the storylines connect the dots without a CM Punk and AJ Lee win. I would agree with that. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they get around if it was the other way around. CM Punk's biggest fans is I think Punk and AJ will win because I think the Vision will get involved. Because I think the Vision will get involved until we see the two men in all black to make War Games Vision versus Punk's team. Fair play. So he thinks we're going to get two people actually assist CM Punk here, and it leads us to get into War Games. Interesting. Fun little feeling there.
I'm going to guess then it's going to be like LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. I'm going to say Jimmy Uso, probably the most likely one at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you have Seth's group in there, I imagine Roman maybe might be back in time for War Games. Just a feeling. So yeah, I think John Cena should be in War Games as well. Been beating that drum for quite a few months on this channel now. So he's never been in one, so he should be in one because he won't get a chance to be in one ever again. If you want to sell War Games this year, John Cena's retirement tour, just slapping the two of them together. You've got a sold out stadium, easy.
definitely.
CD says CM Punk said he would never put his hands on the lady, but didn't he give Beth Phoenix, easy for me to say, a GTS in the Royal Rumble? That was a different CM Punk. That was straight edge society CM Punk.
Yeah, that was I want to shave the heads of women CM Punk.
Yeah, he used to be a charming fellow at one point in his career. But CD, you're not supposed to remember this stuff. That's WWE's probably answer to that. But we're glad you remember. It's good to bring this stuff up. Goes on to say as well, I wasn't a fan of Becky Lynch's reactions against AJ Lee. I'm a fan of AJ Lee, but she's small and Becky Lynch was acting like Godzilla was coming out. Fair. But I mean,
It's
AJ
not
Lee,
so.
she crazy.
Yeah, it's not so much the size. It's like that's a small firecracker of crazy that's about to unleash a fury of anger and crazy on you. So yeah, it's not really about the size of the dog. It's about the size of the bite in the dog. Really, that's do you know what I mean? The more scarier thing.
The feature she put Daniel Bryan and Kane through back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not surprised if you can make Kane go through some crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure there's a good excuse there for Becky Lynch to be feeling a bit freaked out with it. CD says Rollins and Punk do deserve a WrestleMania Night 2 main event, though. WrestleMania Night 1 main event, but WrestleMania Night 2 is considered the bigger WrestleMania event. So, yeah, he's saying those two should have that. There you are. CD says we would get Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship, unless that's just a Saudi thing. This is the thing. If they do that championship, that would be the match we would get next month. Would you be happy for that in Australia?
I wouldn't be against it. I think it'd probably be, yeah, it's almost filler before Survivor Series, really. So like, it's a cop-out pay-per-view, but I wouldn't be against it.
And we get Tiffany Stratton against either Io Sky or Stephanie Vaquer, which for us it would be Io Sky.
Win.
Just book it WWE, but we're fine with it. Give us a filler month. We're okay. CD says Rollins and Lynch win so they can hold off their title matches on Punk and AJ Lee. So it can be actually hold off to a later date. CD reckons that the Vision and Tony D'Angelo could become a member against Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and the Usos inside of War Games.
I do think it's Tony D'Angelo. He gets rebranded.
I think so. If he ends up in that, there's definitely a rebrand. But Tony D's not been working for me for a long time, so I think personally repackaging might be a good idea. Jessica Cole is in the house. He says, Steve, the hair. Appreciating the long locks today.
It's normally tied up, but I just can't be bothered today, mate.
You're feeling loose of it. That's a good thing. Let it be free. And CD says that means we get Io versus Tiffany for the Crown Jewel Championship or Stephanie Vaquer, which let's be fair, as we said, win.
Unless CD knows something that we don't.
Could do indeed. Maybe CD's a secret. Could be a secret book of the WWE. Quite good on his predictions. It's quite good. CD also likes the hair. It's just throwing it out there. Kyle says, after a long weekend away, I almost forgot about wrestling. I'm going to be at WrestlePalooza. I'm jealous of the hair, by the way, as a bald man. So there you are. There's a lot of love for the hair for you, Nick, Steve. But there's a lot of love for bald out there as well for people.
Yeah, man.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Hey, go Triple H. There's a prime example of why bald is great. Like, as long as you have a solid beard game, bald is fine.
I'm crap with a beard. So there you are. That's
good thing you got hair then.
Yes, just it's holding on for dear life at the minute. CD says WrestlePalooza will be super good. There you are. I agree. I think it'll be a super good show as well. And we've got through all of our predictions. So quickly, just before we disappear today, obviously we've already talked about WrestleMania and Riyadh, so we don't need to touch on that one anymore. But Andrade is no longer with WWE. It was not a mutually agreed thing. There are reports coming out. I've seen, I believe, Fightful or Wrestling Observer, one or the other, quoting that at least one wellness policy had been failed by Andrade on this run. So that is one of the potential reasons of why he's no longer with the company.
It would kind of make sense as to why him and Ray Phoenix haven't been on TV for the last couple of weeks. So, look, man, you're given these opportunities in the world to do these grand spectacle things like go and work for WWE and wrestle in front of thousands of people in arenas, millions of people on TV, and look, if you mess it up yourself, I can't have sympathy with someone who messes it up himself. But saying that, obviously, if it's circumstances beyond his control, I know sometimes like certain medications for like flus and cold can also be deemed what could be the reason you failed these kinds of things, these wellness policies. But like I said, it's hard to tell without knowing all the information. Will we ever know all the information? Probably not. Will Andrade be fine? Absolutely. I said to you the other day, I think he should go New Japan. I think he'd do awesome out there in New Japan. If not, hey, look, TNA's hiring, and look, the star power that Andrade would bring would be put him as your TNA World Champion. Be great.
Absolutely. The CMLL as well as an option also. I don't see him personally going back to AEW, but he could always go back there as well. So, I mean, there are options out there in this day and age. So that's always something for him. And yeah, you hope that everyone does land on their feet. But there goes the Andrade Ray Phoenix tag team. Perhaps maybe time for a Lucha Brothers reunion. I personally think it could be the right time. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, we were talking literally the other day saying, where is Ray Phoenix? And ironically, he pops up for a Sami Zayn US Open challenge. So you never know. Hopefully, yeah, Penta and Ray Phoenix back together. And my only worry is the tag team division is so dead at the minute. And do I really want to see two fantastic wrestlers put together in a tag team and then nothing is done with them when Penta is thriving as an individual at the minute?
He has been thriving. The only thing is he does lose matches here and there, and that's my concern. If he continues to lose them, he will lose that stock eventually. But time will tell on what will happen. The scene obviously on opposite shows at the moment as well. Byron's in the house. Hope you're doing well, Byron. And CD says he was liking the Andrade Ray Phoenix tag team, so it's kind of a shame. And does also predict that maybe Andrade could go back to AEW. But that's all from us anyway. Thank you all for watching today. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Really helps the channel a long way. Subscribe as well if you are new here as well. Keep an eye out because there'll be more videos dropping on the channel as well. Shorts have been very popular on the channel recently, so thanks for everyone that's been checking those out. Continue to drop plenty of shorts throughout the week. And obviously, myself and Steve would like to grace you with our presence as well. Hopefully again this week as well with some AEW predictions as well. All Out is taking place this week, so we'll try and figure out a day that will suit to fit to get those on for you as well, and keep an eye maybe for a short for NXT Homecoming as well. But thanks for watching. Look after yourselves and each other, and yeah, we'll see you for the next one. Thanks for watching and enjoy WrestlePalooza, and don't forget we will review the show as well, so keep an eye out for that. That will be probably taking place on the Sunday or Monday after the show. Take care. We'll see you next time.